Everyone seems into it except Mary, who clutches her pearls in Christianity.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins, and I'm happy to see you.
You too. I have a little bit of a cold, so pardon my nasally delivery today, but this is literally the result of like being outdoors and having one alcoholic beverage a week ago, and I'm not even lying. I'm old.
It's real humbling to have one drink at this age and then pay for it for days and days after.
Shocking. I'm glad I partied when I could, because my body is just like, no, absolutely not.
Totally.
Anyways.
I don't have a cold, but for some reason I can't wake up and I don't drink caffeine. I gave Okay, so talk about therapy. Although this road doesn't really lead to Bravo. I mean, who knows? Maybe it does. But remember when I started seeing that back doctor in 2008? Because, so this was peak fucking Los Angeles kind of stuff. I had some friends that loved this doctor in quotations. They went to him because he helped them with their depression. Remember I'll refer to him as Dr. M. I won't give his full name, but
I have a vague recollection of this era in Los Angeles.
He was very nice and very handsome and very LA. He told me all this shit to do to help with my depression. And, because at the time I was having a hard time with the end of that relationship with the person that will go unnamed as well, but like really effed me up. Second to last one before I hit slaw. Anyway, my point is that he had me give up a lot of things. Again, very LA. I was not eating bread. I was not eating sugar. I was not eating a lot of stuff that now I look back and I'm like, bruh. But one of the things he had me do was give up caffeine. That meant giving up caffeinated coffee. And I felt better. I'm very sensitive to coffee caffeine. Not necessarily tea caffeine, for sure not diet soda caffeine. Well, a little bit diet soda caffeine, but, I'm not willing to give up my Diet Dr. Pepper or a Diet Coke. My point is, I am drinking an iced coffee at 4:30. It's a late afternoon on a Sunday. I was like, if I don't drink this coffee right now, this caffeinated coffee, I don't drink caffeinated coffee in my house. I don't drink it when I go to a coffee place. I always ask for decaf. I can get wired from a decaf coffee. If I'm indulging in a caffeinated coffee this late on a Sunday, something's up.
This is an emergency.
It's an emergency. Who cares? That was such a long-winded way of...
Listen, the Salt Lake City ladies will reinvigorate us, because that was so much screaming, so much energized, pointless interacting, and some poignant interacting, but mostly pointless. Lots of black card throwing, lots of storming away, storming back.
Well, that's a good point that you're bringing up. So we are wrapping up the Real Housewives of Miami season. Thank God. I'm ready to be done. Aren't we always ready to be done when it's done?
I'll miss them. I will. It was a relatively redundant third part of the reunion, which is why today we'll mostly focus on Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, ladies, thank you, and good night.
We're transitioning into Salt Lake City now. There are a couple episodes in, but that's where we're going to be resuming next week. And I will try to put timestamps in. So if you don't watch Miami and you're only interested in listening to Salt Lake City stuff, I'll tell you where to get that. Okay?
Lovely.
Let's enter. Let's start. This is the Real Housewives of Miami, Season 7, Episode 20, Reunion Part 3. And we resume with Andy asking Lisa to respond. Like, what would she like to say about that scene that we all saw where Larsa told her they're in Milan for Milan Fashion Week. And she's like, why are you here if your dad is dying? Just such a low blow, man. And Lisa said what you and I talked about when this episode aired. It's her fucking job. And Lisa's like, he was unresponsive. Like it wouldn't have mattered if I was there or not. But like, she's got to earn money.
Well, and I thought the most interesting part was her saying, you don't understand the context. I had spent time with him and we have unhealed, unresolved business. So I am not the one to hold vigil by his bedside. I did the best I could with the relationship we had. And so I went to work because I'd spent as much time as I could there. And then, yeah.
And plus, like, it's never my, I can never, I can't think of a scenario in which I would tell somebody that had a fraught relationship with a parent, you need to go be on their bedside, especially if Larsa and Lisa are as close as they are. I don't know what they talk about when they're not recording, but we all know that Larsa's just, she's capable of so much depth. We've seen it, like in the scenes. It's like the unseen footage stuff, or when she was talking about how bad it was with Marcus when they broke up. Like, I know she's capable of it, but she's so surface. She and Barlow, speaking of Salt Lake City, like she and Barlow are just so unwilling to go deeper. Like, they're even less inclined than Kyle to like go deep.
I feel like Larsa, it's a little more readily available. I feel like that interaction in the car with Lisa, she just wanted to hurt her. So she's like, I'm just going to go as like jugular as I can. And she did. She
I
went
don't
straight
like
for the
that.
dead dad. I mean, but Lisa did it right back and sent a picture of her dad in a casket. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason these two are friends and make sense to one another. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I thought that scene with Lisa, Larsa, and Jodi was actually quite moving.
I did too.
When, during a break, I mean, there were cameras following Larsa, obviously, but she made the approach to Lisa's dressing room. She initiated a pretty direct and thorough apology to Jodi, as best as Larsa is capable of. And I felt like I heard the wavering in her voice when she said I was going through a really hard time. And Larsa does not cry, certainly not on camera. So, like, that must have been a really hard time for her. And I'll never forget the scene at her house where her mom was over shortly after the Marcus breakup. And she said, I just want to go to bed, And I was like, yeah, man, I know that place. That's a real painful place. Both parties are culpable. Lisa should never have brought up, should have unfollowed Marcus, and Larsa should never have harped on the AC, and you get it.
I do. The only other thing I want to, like, as far as like dads and fraught relationships and my own therapy, my last psychedelic appointment where it was like a big, like a not home thing, it was like a doctor's office thing. I feel like after that session kind of integrated throughout my body and my mind, and because the medicine, psychedelics are always doing their shit in the background. It's an app refresh that you don't even know about until a situation comes up, and then all of a sudden you're looking at it from a different perspective. And when I say all of a sudden, I mean it feels like it's happening in real time. But when I look at, again, I've done so much work on my relationship with my dad since I was a child. I went to my first Alateen meeting when I was 12, 13, 14, like a long ass time ago. And therapy since I was 16. My point is, all of the work I did felt like with this last session I had at the end of August, the anger at my dad vaporized. And now it is a combination of, I don't want to say it's like hardcore compassion, but maybe it's on the spectrum of compassion. It's like Lisa, because I don't know if you remember, Margie, when we first started talking about Lisa and her dad, when she first started talking about herself with her dad, I told you, oh my gosh, I can't believe that like Lisa is more ahead of the game. And you were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. As far as like forgiving her father, and you checked me on that, rightly so. My point is that I don't think I would have said that today, that like she was ahead of me. And not that it's a competition. It's just that I've had the shift. If she is truly in that place, I'm very happy for her. And she might have like things and feelings might come up over the years. But it's like, I felt bad at the time when she said that, because I'm like, oh my God, why is she having that experience of freedom and I'm not? There was no need to compare. And also, I don't really know, where was I going with this? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, there's also, this sounds darker than I intend, but there's a freedom when the body has transitioned,
Mm.
Like,
Uh,
I don't know if maybe that's the freedom, but clearly she's still struggling. Like, again, it doesn't matter if the being is present or not. She's clearly still struggling with some unresolved issues that it doesn't go away just because the person passes.
yeah, for
So,
sure. For sure. I think it was that I was comparing, like, I was still really attached to cosmic scoreboard stuff when it came to my dad, and she didn't seem like she was.
yeah.
That's what I was trying to say when I was yakking on a couple of seconds ago. And so that made me feel like bad about where I still was. But now I have let go of the cosmic scoreboard. That is what I'm saying. And so I'm very grateful to be in this place. And it happened after my last major psychedelic journey. So yay, psychedelics. And yay, all my talk therapy leading up to it.
Yes, the decades of talk
The
therapy leading up
decades,
to
man.
it, in
Yeah,
support
this
of
was
it,
not
all of that.
It was not a vacuum. It was not a
No.
vacuum. It was combos, 12-step rooms, therapy, psychedelics, like all of it. But just to remind myself and everybody that I am still me, I still think that in this scenario, Larsa is the loser in the cosmic scoreboard and Lisa has the point. However, we just did get done talking about Larsa, so fuck it. I'm going to let go of the cosmic scoreboard, okay? Here, I'm going to let go of it for this episode. One episode at a time. Oh, my God. I do think she traffics in low blows, though, man. Like threatening to talk to TMZ about Gertie's cancer or, telling the group she had cancer after Gertie told her not to.
You don't have to convince me. I don't think she's like a great human being, but I just thought that moment seemed sincere. And it did seem like two friends who really do love each other and had lost sight of how to communicate that. And so they just got dug into a fight a la Salt Lake City.
Jesus.
They just dug into their side of the fight and could not see past it until enough time had passed from the finale party to the reunion, apparently. And they were willing to let it go. So, hooray.
Hooray is right. There's a little bit of fighting. Lisa faces Alexia and was like, dude, when your mom passed, I had a party for you to kind of honor her and honor you. And
this is cosmic scoreboard shit.
Yeah, it was so cosmic scoreboard.
And what did you do for me in my relationship with my super estranged dad? It's like, come on, dude.
I know.
I don't need it.
And then Kiki's like, are we comparing grief now? And I don't think that – I didn't think she was. I think this was an instance, and again, heavy projecting on my part. I think, and I don't know if this is like a trait that Lisa and I share because of our ADHD. Could be. Doesn't matter. But I think that Lisa just really wanted to be seen. Like, Alexia, I did this. And it wasn't like you need to do it because I did. It's just – this is what we do for each other when something like this happens. And for Alexia to say enough is enough in regards to Lisa talking about it, I thought that was real fucking petty and real shitty.
Yes.
In what world is Alexia not going to take offense to somebody being real blasé about the passing of one of her parents? That's not going to happen.
Well, and enough is not something that is in the housewives lexicon. It's always like more and more. It's Lenny. It's Todd.
Yeah.
It's, like that. It's part of the job. So whatever.
Lisa does tell Larsa, Jodi and I almost broke up a few times because of the shit that you were talking.
I liked how she framed it too, saying like, I don't want to give you this much power. Like, she almost didn't say it, but for your files, the harm you were causing his reputation by proclaiming his coke abuse almost led them to break up, because Jodi is a businessman and he is a businessman in Miami where everyone does cocaine. Many people do cocaine.
Is that still a thing, or is it still a
I shouldn't
stereotype
speak from any level of experience, but it's whatever. Lots of people out here do it in the entertainment industry, but nobody talks about it because you don't want to be you don't want to be the one who's known for doing it. And the only people who are known for doing it are the ones who like die because they got a fentanyl-laced dose. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what everyone's doing. And again, Larsa's boyfriend was caught by paparazzi taking a spoonful, like a full teaspoon of Coke up his nose for breakfast on a super yacht. So,
Yeah.
nobody's exempt from this kind of party lifestyle.
I thought that was a really good way to wrap up all of that stuff. I appreciated that Lisa said, I don't want to give you this much power. That is a vulnerable thing to say to someone. That is kind of like, I'm going to take you on what's going on with me as I tell you about this stuff. And I find that very humanizing. And if people did that more, I think that there could be more compassion. Like, this is how scared I am to admit this to you. I don't want to be giving you this much power, but that is how much your behavior impacts me, especially as my close friend. To me, that's the subtext. To say something like that to someone who has the potential to hurt you, who has hurt you, that is just like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you my truth. And to me, that is more like, that's more empowering. Like, I hope she feels more empowered by saying that, because it's real hard to protect yourself from someone like Larsa if you're not feeling sure about yourself. But this, to me, when she said that, it showed to me that Lisa was feeling sure about herself enough to say that, even though it could go spectacularly wrong. But I think she knows that it won't. I'm fucking rambling. This coffee better fucking kick in, man. What's going on?
Listen, I also think Lisa had a sense of responsibility to Jodi. I think part of the reason she was like, up there was like, I'm trying to get Larsa to take responsibility for what she said and do her best to walk it back, which, eventually she did. So, hooray.
Hooray. Larsa says she's willing to apologize to Jodi because she doesn't want to hurt her friend, and it's gone on. Larsa says this has gone on too long. I was like, dude, it's gone on so long because of you. But whatever. I'm glad for them. I hope it works out. Maybe this Lisa 2.0, Lisa 1.5, I don't know, whatever she is, will rub off on Larsa.
I think she already is. She's inviting Larsa to meet her at her new level. And Larsa,
yes.
I was impressed that Larsa walked into that dressing room, and she didn't do it. You know how Julia was chasing down Andy last week, going like, Andy, here's what happened. Larsa just walked in there like confident and collected and like as earnestly remorseful as she's capable of being, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that seemed hopeful.
And speaking of hopeless, we revisit the Shoma Air Marbella drama, everything we've already talked about. Oh my God, Stephanie asks her castmates if her rules to fly Shoma Air were that bad. And Marysol says, listen, it was the seating chart and not knowing if we were going to come back.
Is this when Stephanie yelled at everyone? She's ridiculous. She had a couple outbursts where at one point she screamed to get everyone's attention. And then at another point she barked, like trying to mock everyone. And she's just, she's really reveling in her housewifery. So get it, girl. See you next season.
I was just going to say, let's see how this all shakes out next season.
She'll be back. She's great for TV. I'm tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting talked about a lot. So we revisit Cakegate for a hot minute. Kiki reiterates she had no ill intentions and she was not coming from a malicious place. And Adriana talks about how she made it very clear that she did not want a birthday party. Months earlier, Gertie had come to her offering to throw her a party, and she said no. And Adriana says she has not celebrated her birthday like with a party since her quinceañera, which is when you turn 15. I was like, God damn.
And then she weeps as if she's the only woman who's ever aged. Do you know how hard it is to age? Yes. In fact, everyone does. Everyone who's fortunate enough to still be on this side of the ground. Yes, we all do. So thank you for that. But this was where Kiki tried to impress upon Adriana, like, the cake was not delivered with malicious intent. However, the comment, you are too old to talk to me like this, was because Kiki heard the word ratchet. Everybody heard the word ratchet. And I loved Kiki for saying, no matter what word you chose, you used whatever that word was. I heard ratchet. You used it on me. You've been feuding with Marysol for decades. You've been feuding with all these women for ages, and not one of them have you ever let ratchet fly. But me? Just food for thought, Adriana. And again, it's that unconscious bias thing. she said, you are not racist, but like these are the things that need to be brought to people's attention so that they can be a little more, just act with a little more sensitivity, you know? Because that was gross. The whole table shrieked and screamed with
Yeah.
good reason,
I
as
shrieked
did
and
we all
screamed
at home.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Marysol is like, I don't fucking get how you can be so upset about aging and then in the same season also talk shit about me being old, my knees being old.
You old whore.
Adriana, instead of taking responsibility for this and going, that was so fucked, you're absolutely right. It's like, well, that's because you've been hurting me over the years. Holy shit. Marysol says she's going to be getting surgery on her knees because what Adriana said made her feel so bad. And it's like, listen, nobody makes you do anything.
She wanted that procedure, as do I. And here's a great reason to like come off as like a hero victim.
Yeah.
By being like, I have to get my knees lifted. I have to. What choice do I was wearing pantyhose because of you?
Oh my God.
It's also stupid. It's so inconsequential. It's like delightful.
And that was one of the first things I learned in 12-step rooms and in therapy was like, you have your own personal responsibility. You can't do anything to change somebody else, and they can't do anything to make you do something. You know, like it has to be your choice as adults is what I'm saying. I'm not making any sense, and I don't know why this espresso shot has not started like pummeling my brain and like waking it up to be coherent.
It's coming for you. It's
oh
coming
God,
for you.
Please. Just don't come for me at like 10 o'clock at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. So they take a break, and this is where Larsa goes to Lisa's dressing room. And we've already talked about this. There was a lot of like, you know, rehashing some stuff. And then I liked Lisa saying, we need a day, the two of us, where we're not filming, where we can just hang out and like chat.
And Larsa readily agreed, which I thought was also a good sign.
Yeah. Jodi tells Larsa, I haven't seen Marcus in a year, FYI, you know? And didn't Lisa say that she should have unfollowed Marcus sooner?
She did, but I do think, Lisa, it did feel like there was some caginess about the cocaine thing of like, I should have unfollowed Marcus. You should not be talking about my husband or my boyfriend's drug use. You know that. Everybody uses drugs. Let's just leave that alone. Let's leave the men out of it. And I think that was a fair conclusion. So fine.
They return from break, and Lisa and Larsa share that they've made up. Lisa says in front of her castmates what Larsa said and her apologizing to Jodi meant a lot. So nice little wrap up with a bow, and we'll see what happens next year. Gertie is doing great. She's working out. She's getting her groove back. She decided, again, for now, not to do the surgeries. Russell is watching from the dressing room, and his face says everything about
his
who
haircut
he
was
is.
Great, too. He
He
looked
is
great.
Just a freaking charming ass doll, man. Yeah. I love him. Gertie is telling them about her childhood, kind of filling Andy in. Because again, I've read all of Andy's books, so I should know this. I apologize. But they're not like reading, it's not dense intellectual shit that you're reading. So it's kind of like, you know, it's like cake frosting. At the time, it's delicious, but it's not remarkable after the fact. My point is that I don't know if he watches every episode of these shows. So in the reunion, he sometimes needs to have some stuff filled in for context. So Andy asks Gertie if her childhood abandonment issues contributed to her feelings about her dynamic with Julia. Like, does she feel abandoned as a friend? Julia's face, like they're doing a tight close-up on Julia's face. And when Andy is like asking this and Gertie's starting to answer, her face is stone cold. It's cold. It's not neutral. She looks scary to me.
Yeah, and her apology is so shitty. She's like, well, I said again, I'm sorry that I hurt you like that. It's like, ugh.
And Gertie tells Andy, abandoned is not the word to describe it. Rather, it was degrading and traumatic. And I was like, bravo, Gertie. And I don't have any faith that Julia takes any of this stuff in at all. Because she says it wasn't intended. I didn't want to make you feel like that. Okay.
But it also, again, it doesn't matter what you intended.
No, it doesn't.
It had that outcome. So let's work from there, shall we? No.
So then Andy asks a little bit about Julia and her status with her young sons and her grown-up daughters. Jackson's now 4, Luca's now 2.5. So Andy asks for a breakdown of the conflict with her daughters that Julia's having. And she said that she and Martina started the adoption process before Martina was diagnosed with cancer. And they put everything on hold once they got that diagnosis. And when she became better, they resumed the process. And apparently, a month before their home study was supposed to expire, they got the call that they got the boys. Martina was traveling at the time. Julia was in Moscow visiting her parents. They had like 4 days to pick up and get ready. So I guess they didn't tell Vika and Emma about what they were doing until those 4 days. That's what I pieced together.
Yeah, it just sounds like they didn't tell them they were going to pick up the adoption process again. And certainly not giving them any warning that within weeks of Martina being proclaimed cancer-free, they would have 2 kids. And as Julia said, Andy asked, you guys are old. Who's going to take care of these boys? And Julia was like, our daughters. And I'm like, I imagine that is something to do with their reaction to this, which is, of course they will. We've talked about it before. I would feel responsible too. But that is a huge adjustment to how I'm looking forward at my life, because now in 15 or 20 years, I need to expect to be looking after some kids for a few years at least, you know?
It sounds like what they said is that Martina and Julia talked to them and the girls said, we will be, like Julia said, the girls will be there. And so I don't know what that means. I don't necessarily assume that it means that they're going to resume, like they're going to be their caregivers.
It's one of those things that it's so fraught. Whether I could get off on that technicality too, but if I'm the surviving daughter, these boys do not have their moms anymore because they've both passed away. What am I going to do? I'm really going to like just go party somewhere and be like, good luck, kids. Hope it works out.
I
No,
know.
like, come on. Julia knows what she's doing to these girls. And if she
Jesus.
doesn't, then she needs to get conscious about like other human beings in her orbit, because that's insane.
Yeah, that's asking a lot. We learned that Marysol is selling Mama Elsa's house and that Mama Elsa communicates with Marysol spiritually. If you've been watching Miami since its inception, that was Mama Elsa's thing. She had a little bit of that touch, she said. And that Mama Elsa is responsible for her meeting Steve.
I believe that, and I love that. And I also, that scene of Mama Elsa that they showed of her in the house going like, I'm all by myself in this house, no family, no one to talk to, nothing to think about. And every time anybody romanticizes what being single is like, I want everyone to watch that scene because that is real. Like that stuck with me from the moment I saw that. I was like, ooh, yeah, there are like really significant amount of moments like that where you're just like, and here I am in a space alone. Weird. So anyways, I'm glad Mama Elsa is, peacefully elsewhere and that she directed Steve to cross Marysol's path because they're adorable.
I think they are. So we kind of move into a Marysol package, and Andy brings up that Dr. Nicole on her podcast was referencing someone who went unnamed, but implying that it was Marysol who hired a PI to find dirt on Dr. Nicole or Mr. Dr. Nicole because she wanted to secure her mojito. Marysol denied it. There's always, even on Salt Lake this episode, or last episode, whenever Angie was like, Lisa hired someone to look at your family, Meredith. This is very
Marysol
Housewives.
sort of didn't deny it though. She was like, show me proof or take me to court. And I was like, that's not you saying like, nuh-uh, no, I didn't. You're like, either prove it or I'm suing you for defamation. So
that is something that they could do if she can't prove it, right?
She won't. Well, but I think Marysol probably, I'm guessing, it seems like she'd be the type to do something like that. And until there's proof, she doesn't need to admit it. So just kick the can.
Stephanie tells Marysol that it's been hard for her with the public opinion part of becoming a housewife, and that Marysol sent Stephanie every article about Stephanie. Every negative article about Stephanie. And Marysol says, I was trying to help.
No, you weren't. You
sure
were doing what you were doing.
Exactly. Stephanie went to bed every night wondering if going on the show was her biggest mistake. I don't know. You could use it as an opportunity to grow. Like, oh my God, what are people seeing that I'm not? Instead, She doesn't do that. It's still everyone else's fault. It's still everyone else that's the issue and not her. Marysol says that she orchestrated Wretchedgate. We've already seen this on the finale and talked about this before. Oh my God, this shocked me. Andy asks Marysol if she owes, do you think, Marysol, that you owe anybody an apology? Marysol says, I never took Kiki into consideration when I was making the deal with Adriana about Wretchedgate. I was stunned, disgusted, mad. How could you not? How could you not?
Marysol's gross. I think we're seeing
Yeah.
she's like kind of a vile person. She sort of gets off on other people being harmed and seeks her own comfort ahead of anything else. And I don't believe her. I think she did know what that could do to Kiki and just hoped it would bypass her, but it didn't. So here she is trying to like pull some weird half-ass bullshit apology. I didn't care for it at all. And neither did Kiki. Kiki was like, oh, wow, okay. That's that's hateful. Nice.
So we're starting to wrap up, and Andy asks the cast what they're going to take away from this season from a positive point. Stephanie says this has been one of the top 5 experiences of her life, that her new friendships don't fill the void she has with her sisters, but it feels good going to bed at night knowing that I have the cast to count on. And I was all, the cast that's paid to hang out with you because it is their job. Again, like Marysol, not seeing past the...
But she did. Like literally minutes ago, she said, Marysol told me there is no safe space in this group.
Yeah.
And at first I rejected that, and now I see that's true. Cut to 5 seconds later, she's like, these are my sisters.
Yeah.
I go to bed every night with the comfort of knowing that these people have... I'm like, oh, you're crazy and great.
Andy praises Lisa for her growth. She acknowledges that she's grown in all areas, including taking accountability, and that all of her castmates could benefit from continuing to take accountability for themselves as well. Stephanie then uses that as an opportunity to say, well, I wonder if I'm the lucky token that entered the group, and that's why all these positive changes happened. My God. Gertie plugs her book, From Trauma to Trophies, and why not? Yeah, why not?
I loved her answer. I thought Andy was so shitty for going like, are you really going to plug your book? And she goes, of course I am. And I was like, of course she is. She was raised on your network, sir.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Honestly.
The clubhouse is just floor to ceiling, everyone's books and memoirs. Like, why not Gertie's? And she has survived. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not a bullshit story. Like, she survived breast cancer. We've learned about her upbringing now. She's in individual therapy. Like, I'm borderline curious I would listen to that audiobook. I'm concerned if I buy the hard book, I won't finish it. I've done that before.
I hear that.
But I feel like if I get the audiobook, I'll be like, ooh, just turn that on and listen to it. So I'll see if that exists.
Reading is reading, including an audiobook. Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Adriana doesn't talk about anything positive. Instead, she says that she's the one that was responsible for writing the notes that were taped to everybody's dressing room mirror, advising them what the rules and the protocol should be for the day. Everyone was shocked because they thought, like, this has got to be Stephanie writing it. Marysol thought her producer wrote the notes. Adriana, really, I feel like I can see clearly now the filter is gone. Everything that she did this season, being reminded of the shit she has said over the years since this show started, being reminded about the conversation with Alexia about Frankie and her ankle injury. I'm grossed out. I'm grossed out like Dorinda grossed out, Dorinda turkey baster grossed out.
Yeah, she kind of hit a point of no return. It was disgusting for Marysol to present to her the wretched ratchet opportunity. And it was foul for Adriana to pick it up and run with it and continue to stand by it, even when she was directly confronted on part 3 of the reunion. Are you sure you're standing by? That's the word you chose. And she's like, yes. And it's not. Like, it's all... Anyway, she's gross. She is gross. And I guess maybe that's why I didn't find it cute or funny, or I was like, I don't know why you're so proud of yourself. I find you... Like, I don't find you charming at all, and you should never hold a mojito again.
Kiki thanks everyone for having her back. that the cast is all like her. The cast kind of fills the role of a husband because, she's a single mom and basically she can rely on her fellow castmates for support.
And she's like, they have male energy. She's like, they're very hard. I am soft. And I was like, oh my God. Because they're like, we're sisters. And she's like, no, you're not. You are husbands.
That was amazing. Marysol, all she says is that she loves what she does and she enjoys the girls a lot. Julia said, I could not believe this again. She said this was her best season and her worst season. And I was
the
all,
best of times.
Dude.
It was the worst of times.
It was the best because of her boys and, I quote, her growth. Her growth. She said the word growth as in personal growth. And I was like,
I missed that episode.
Yeah, me too.
So go ahead and send those highlights my way, Julia. I didn't see it.
She said that she has a lot of growing to do, and without the cast, she wouldn't have made it through the last few months, and she's very sorry for who she hurt. Again, very passive. I have zero to no faith that this woman is capable of changing.
No,
I don't know.
She's trying to protect her position on that cast. That's all she wants, and I don't need to see her ever again.
I don't either.
I hope she's fired. She's disingenuous. She's disgusting. This season she was just unapologetically awful. So
she has young children. She has young children. She needs to put her priorities.
I think she got them partially for the show. I'm not even lying.
God.
Like, I think part of the reason they jumped on that is, I find her so devious and untrustworthy. She like ignites every conspiracy theorist, like, dormant cell in my body. I'm just like, I don't believe anything you do. I think everything you do has an ulterior motive. I don't like you.
She is absolutely not a safe space. And I really, really hope that things are okay under their roof. Okay. On Reddit this week, someone posted something that they had done like a little looking into Connie, the social worker that we met. She's not a social worker. She is someone that helps facilitate the adoption of children, but it's not like I'll see if I can find it and maybe put it in the show notes. I will aspire to do that while I'm editing, is to look it up and include it because it was interesting and it made it sound like it was not a super
like a rich person
upper way
to get you.
Yeah, it was so, but she's not a social worker, and people that were social workers were weighing in. And also, like, she doesn't have credentials next to her name, which if you're a real social worker, you do. As Phaedra Parks would say, something in the buttermilk ain't clean. But I can't say more than that. Or at least it
when
doesn't
you're
smell
rich,
like
you can
clean
bypass.
buttermilk.
Yeah. But when you're rich, you can bypass a lot of the rules that apply to the rest of us, So
Larsa says she feels good. She's with her friends and she'd be there for them regardless.
Even Adriana, she said. She's like, even you, Adriana, who I overtly hate. I was like, that's nice.
God. Alexia says that the girls were there for her and that she knows they will continue to be. And this is all about sisterhood. And the only way to get through what she went through was because of her friends and that she's stronger again. And she sees what her friends have been seeing or saw about Todd and how she was when she was with Todd.
And isn't that the way it goes? I liked, because I appreciated Alexia getting emotional at that point. She knew all along and wasn't willing to see it. And it took her honest friends putting it in her face over and over and over and over again. And her sons as well, for her to finally be like, okay, this guy sucks, moving it on.
And that was the end. That was the end of Salt Lake City and that was the end of the Real Housewives of Miami. Yeah. So, see you next year. Can't wait. Not going to lie. I'll be tuning in. I don't understand how this is the franchise that has the least viewership. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. This is the one where I'm running. I'm like grabbing people by the shoulders. Like, you start with season 1. And if not, then start at season 4 or 5 when they came back. But start. This is one of the best franchises.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because even mundane stuff they make fun. Like, I watched Orange County this week. I could not have been more bored. It's shocking how they're able to bore me in my seat when I'm there to be bored. It's just crazy. But these women make everything, every outing, every interaction, everything.
Just everything. Just so visually stimulating as opposed to Orange County, the sad beige of it all.
Yeah, true.
So let's pivot to the other most dynamic franchise on Bravo Housewives, which is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So this is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 5, The Salt Lake City Soup Man. Again, on Reddit this week, someone was like, she said suit, and Angie was like, she turned it to soup, because apparently there might have been a suit man, suit with a T, in Angie's past. I'm not sure. Again, I'll see if I can find this and put it in. It was interesting to read. So it could be suit, a man wearing a suit, not a man selling soup.
I loved Soup Man, and I loved her in tears going like, I don't eat soup. I don't hang out with anyone who makes soup. Like, I love this franchise. Except I did not care for the opening that started with Whitney singing an ill-advised original song to the tune of like Camptown Races. And the whole episode was bookended with this. I was like, what are we doing, you guys? I mean, I guess you got to like color well outside the lines to figure out where the lines are. But like this did nothing for me. I was like, oh no. The first 10 minutes of this episode, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't care for the... Yeah, it was schmaltzy.
It's not a sitcom. It's a reality show. Have some respect for the format.
I'm not listening to the lyrics, and I'm just annoyed. Yeah, like, come on.
Because
Whitney.
the lyrics, they were like kind of cute and funny, but like they were delivered by like, they weren't delivered well. I'll just say that. But everyone gets invitations to Whitney's wine tasting event, and then they arrive at the telepathic tasting event. Lisa arrives last. And there's tension in the air already with her and Angie after Lisa had sent someone to Angie's salon to pick up her dusty product from her children's brand. And then there's also tension between Lisa and Meredith after Angie had told Meredith that Lisa had encouraged Angie to dig up dirt on Meredith and her family. So Lisa is entering a tense atmosphere. Whitney ignores that and just greets everyone with a toast that she wrote on her phone and read from her phone. And it was about reclaiming her fun, wild-spirited self, the girl who used to drink and get tattoos. And then Justin lost his job because of this public image. And then she tried to transform into a buttoned-up CEO. Once again, I never saw that episode. But it was inauthentic and led to the failure of her business. So why not be who you really are and let go of whatever needs to go and see what comes next, whatever.
I had opinions about it. And again, I am only projecting. I am projecting. I want to make that abundantly clear for the third, fourth, fifth time. Projecting. When Whitney said that she was, she used to be wild and free and fun, I was like, was it really fun or was it acting out because you hadn't yet dealt with the stuff that we learned about with your dad? I don't know. If it was done cleanly and that's really part of what you want to, do, great. If it's to escape or run or act out so you don't feel other things, that's when I'm like, was it your true personality or was it acting out, like I just said? I don't know. I did think it was hilarious when Lisa showed up and she tells her driver to, keep the car running and stay close. Dude, she can't handle it. She can't. She dishes it out and then she bolts. It's just, she's Tamra, dude. She's just Salt Lake City Tamra.
Yeah, totally. And Whitney announces that she's brought in Terrence, the world-renowned spiritual intuitive from New York City, who will be there to give readings. Everyone seems into it except Mary, who clutches her pearls in Christianity. And Terrence is a psychic. And Bronwyn, I was like, Bronwyn is us because she's open to any kind of reading, anytime from anyone, including an animal tarot card reading at a Gucci store in the West Village. And I was like, I would have gone too. That seems great. Why not? Like,
Why not?
What is there to lose? Take what you like and leave the rest,
Thank you.
Who
That
cares?
is exactly right. I find readings to be really fun. I will also share, and again, this is just added to the arsenal of shit I've done, added to the bag of shit I've done over the years, to offer my mind peace. And yes, I find readings to be entertaining. They have also been true about things, including meeting my husband and who may have orchestrated that. I'm just saying, it all makes sense now. It made so much sense after it happened. My point is, I think they're fun.
They're hit and miss, as we see in
Yeah.
this episode. Like, some of them are just so obvious. Like, I loved, God, stupid Brittany. God bless her. I'm so glad she's in this cast. She is comic relief, and I love it. But some of them are like so obvious. And then some of them, like the broken horse leg, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
you just never know. And
Yeah.
I think I've told this story a million times, but when I moved to LA a few years after I moved here, and it was, it's hard to get a entertainment industry career off the ground out here. And a friend of mine got me a reading with a psychic at the Psychic Eye, like in the valley. And I went out there with my arms crossed and I was like, ugh, this is stupid. And I wouldn't give them anything. And then I wound up asking a question like, am I ever going to make it? And the psychic just said, you haven't even tried yet. And it sent a chill down my spine. And I was like, you're right. Like, and again, whether that's like the obvious answer or not, that moment happened, 20 years ago? And it sticks with me to this day. Anytime I get into that victim-y place of like, is the next thing ever going to come through? It's like, have you tried? Have you done all the things you can do to try, Margie? And the answer is always like, not quite yet, So that psychic changed me.
Yeah. You never know. You never know where the nuggets are going to come from. You just got to be open to the nuggets coming from whatever source.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we meet poor Angela, the wine specialist, who is just a tragic character in this whole episode. And she introduces the first pairing of wine and smoked salmon tartare, which Mary will not eat because she fears raw salmon will cause a parasite colony to erupt in her guts. I just like the whole thing was like, I have like some medical anxiety. Like, I get it. I didn't eat red meat for decades because I read a story about mad cow disease, which was only occurring in England at that time. And it caused me to stop eating red. Like, I get it. But I also was just like, this is a pretty committed, I don't know, pretty committed phobia.
Mary is rife with committed phobias. It is entertaining to watch. And I don't know if she's sharing them with us for entertainment purposes, but probably not.
Yeah, she seems pretty earnest. Like,
yeah.
she seems, but it's like there's enough of that mindset that's relatable to me. I look at it in myself with a bit of a laugh. Anytime I told people I don't eat red meat, I would tell them why. And I'm like, I know this is insane, but this is why. But Mary seems quite convicted that this is the right thing to do because it will happen, that fish will start growing in her stomach and having babies.
Okay. Ay. So we learn that Angie is selling her house and she's moving into a neighborhood that's closer to Whitney and would like to have horses and goats. This prompts Brittany to bring up the listing for Angie's house, which is on the market. And at the time, it had been on the market for around 200 days. This week, someone posted the listing on Reddit. I clicked through all 63 pages of Angie's house. It's now been on the market for over 405 days. Brittany is really just, I don't, she's delusional, man. I say that with judgment and also like a little bit of love. And I wonder almost if she's like in on the joke. Like, is she self-producing to make herself look a certain way? But Brittany's upset that Angie didn't ask her to do the listing. She is working with a realtor that is her godson's mother. And this house has been on the market for over a year, and there have been many price changes, which I know can not look positive. However, everyone knows right now that it's especially hard real estate wise. And it's true for her house. When houses are in the $4 million range
in Utah, that's insane. I am actually inclined to agree with Brittany on this. Of like, if you actually want to sell, if you're not just testing the market, listing whatever the house is at $4.5 million. Like, that's a huge mansion out here where the market's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing. It just seems like it seems like she's not a serious seller, as they would say. Like that's kind of a bonkers. Sorry.
According to the person on Reddit, they said that she and Sean bought the house for around $800,000, completely redid it, and that is where people get, it's just like the Dubrows. Like, you put all this money and effort, thought, heart into these remodels, and you want that back in cost of your house, but that's just not the way it works. And I have worked, I am not a real estate agent, but I did work for a few months for a very high-end real estate agent in Chicago before I was able to start with the Obama team. I wanted to work. I needed to get out of my head. We needed money. And so I took a job at a real estate firm, like coordinating when visits would happen. And it was with multi-million-dollar houses. The hockey players, I don't remember their names. They were like
Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks, yes, the Blackhawks. So some of their players were like looking at these houses. You don't get to look at these houses until you've been vetted. Like, can you afford this? We're not even going to let you see it until we know you can afford it. And I saw Angie's point too. Like, these houses do stay on the market longer. I saw them in Chicago stay on the market longer, and this was back in like 2011, 2012. So I see both sides, is what I'm saying.
Of course, but I do think it's a different kind of real estate agent that is going to advise you. You know what I mean? Again, do you know where my information comes from? $1 Million Listing, like seasons and seasons of that. Of like, there are real estate agents who are like, if you want this to sell, this is what the market will bear right now. If you're attached to the sentimental value of your home, I'm not your agent, but yes, you can go ahead and ask that, and it will sit on the market, and that's your choice.
For sure.
Because Brittany's right. If it's been, at that point, it was over 7 months that it, no offers, no serious offers in 7 months. Like, that's rough.
I mean, God damn it, dude. $4 million?
4.5.
There's no fucking pool. There's not even a hot tub.
There's not what?
No.
Well, I guess maybe is that not a hot tub. You should have a hot tub in Utah.
I mean,
right?
I would.
You go get in the hot tub in
for
the
sure.
snow?
Yeah. Yes, they've done it on this show. They've gotten in the hot tub in the snow on this show. It's not like Utah doesn't get super fucking hot in the summertime. It's a goddamn like desert out there. It looks like in certain parts. It just looks like a desolate desert. Like, not even like our Palm Springs desert, which has got the Joshua. Like, it's just dry ass mountains. It just looks beige to me. I'm sure to some people it looks beautiful. I'm sure when it's covered in snow it looks beautiful, but like, it's not my vibe. But $4 million, there better be a big ass pool outside. No fucking pool. Fuck you, Angie. That is audacity.
Truly.
So Whitney asks if Brittany and Jared are back together, and God damn it, Brittany, she says yes, we are. Even though she was supposed to do the 30 days break for the sake of her fucking daughter. Whitney tells the table that Jared came over and was talking to Justin, and that Justin said that Brittany gets back together with him when she wants something material. A, I don't fucking believe that. And B, I don't know what it would take. I don't know, man. I don't know. To be with someone like Jared, I just don't know. I don't know what it would take. I'd rather be by myself, but I don't know if I can say that.
I mean, whatever motivates Brittany. And again, loneliness is like no joke. Mama Elsa twirling in her house saying, I have no one to talk to and nothing to do is like a real thing.
Yeah.
But I did not. I think Jared came off like an absolute turd last season. And I think this was damage control where he got the cameras there and he could have a guys talk and victimly confide in Justin saying like, I wonder after all the breakups if I'm just a dinner, a trip, a gift, a this. Oh, okay.
He's so gross.
Get over yourself. And Brittany was legitimately upset by that characterization of her. Like, I didn't believe her justification either, saying like, I've put my relationship with my daughters on the line for this man. I'm like, well, that's a gross choice. So you shouldn't have done that. But I believe she's with a wealthy man, so I'm sure it's not unexpected that he would pick up a check every now and again. It's kind of gross for him to suggest otherwise.
This being her threshold, this is what makes her cry when every other thing we've seen, like him sliding into other people's DMs on Instagram or whatever, this calling her a gold digger for all intents and purposes, this is what gets her to cry in front of us.
And how sad that last week when Whitney said, you're sacrificing your relationship with your daughter. If that doesn't move you to tears, but this does, like, we've lost the thread, lady.
I can't imagine what I don't know what it's like to be in her brain at all. So Brittany is the first one up with Terrence, and while she's getting set up with him, Meredith tells the group that she has concerns because she and Lisa started a new friendship and new commitment where they'd be direct with each other. They did this last year. She asks Lisa point blank, "Did you try to spread negative rumors about my family?" And Lisa's answer when she says no was like the most meager, anemic.
She looked caught.
Completely.
She was like, no. And then she did like cartoon shifty eyes, like right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. I was like, okay.
And she said, this was so gnarly. She's like, I worked really hard to be a good friend to you. I put effort into my friendships, but like, do I work hard? I don't know. I just thought it was weird, like that she had to be so conscious about being a good friend to Meredith instead of just being. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I do think she owed Meredith a little something after the hot mic moment where she was like, Meredith has fucked half of New York City. So I would expect a friend to put some effort in if they'd said that. True or not, it's like, that's pretty gross. But it is interesting that Lisa immediately turns this on Angie. And it just now, this ignites the rest of this episode, which is this Lisa and Angie arguing back and forth. Lisa calls Angie a bully. Angie says she only deals in facts. Lisa said she shit on her kid's brand. Meredith starts screaming, please, not the kids. You're hurting other people, not each other. Stop going low. But Lisa is mortally wounded by the adjective dusty to describe the product that was in Angie's salon. Angie is sarcastic, which does not help the situation, saying, oh, that's so serious. And in the meantime, Brittany's had her reading with Terrence where she's like all in, even though Terrence's reading of Brittany is all public knowledge about her, being like, you have problems with your daughters. And she's like, I have chills. I have chills.
When she was like, acting like this was new information. Again, I feel so badly for her kids having this child in an adult's body. This completely, either willfully or just some sort of unresolved trauma or something informing the way she parents. It is so sad and stressful for me to watch. You know, like I really feel for her kids. Goddamn. Just how I'm shocked to hear this. And it didn't seem like an act to me. It was,
because I don't know Brittany, and I wasn't shocked to hear it. It was her whole storyline last season. What do you mean you're shocked to hear this? That's crazy. And then next up is Bronwyn, and Terrence tells her that there's a brain issue in her mom. There's concerning blood levels being ignored, and Bronwyn says she's been so focused on her dad that she's sort of lost sight of her mom's mortality. And I thought this was an interesting statement. She said, I always think there's 10 more rounds of fight left for us. What if there's not? And I was like, isn't that the truth? The parent that you always think is invincible, it's easy to forget that we're all mortal. So Terrence tells Bronwyn to make peace in that relationship with her mom. And Bronwyn is really moved and emotional by that sentiment. And returns to the table where Lisa and Angie are fighting about credit cards and throwing credit cards. And Angie says Lisa has a facelift that makes her look like she was in wind tunnel. Lisa calls Angie short. They scream and scream. Angie tells Lisa she needs a therapist, which I thought was annoying that she used that as a slur. And meanwhile, Bronwyn's just sitting there in tears.
When Terrence told Bronwyn that her mom is her biggest supporter but doesn't show it, but she does what she can, and he said that Bronwyn needs to let go of her negative feelings about her mom, I wrote, nope. Like, this is a case where, from what we've seen, I don't doubt that when Terrence said she does what she can, I filtered that like she does what she's capable of. But I still am really, if I were Bronwyn, I would have a really hard time with that. I mean, we've seen what this woman has said to her. What does she say when she's not filming? What was it like for Bronwyn when Bronwyn found out she was pregnant and she wasn't married? What was that like for her? I did not like Terrence's advice, and I thought it really was just too simple and not sufficient.
It was reductive, I agree, but I also think it's like the essence of an Al-Anon program. It's like you didn't cause it, you can't cure it, you can't change it. When I heard him say you need to make peace with that relationship, my hope for Bronwyn is that she stops trying to please her mother. My hope is that the peace in that is that in knowing I will never please her. Now what? You know? And again, I'm projecting my own relationship with my father. When I finally got to the place of being at peace that like, oh, literally nothing I do. I've done all of the things that he said would make me acceptable in his eyes, and those didn't even work. So now I just need to let go of ever being seen in that way that I'd like to be seen, grieve that, and try a new approach. And that took a lot of time and a lot of step work and a lot of therapy. But that was the piece that I found with my dad. And it was a relationship with a lot more distance than I'd hoped for. I would have loved to have a close daddy-daughter relationship, but that was not to be our path. Not if I was going to like have a peaceful life myself, you know, with all of the time and energy I put into making all of my choices, like date someone dad will like, you know, oh, take this job, dad'll like that. It's like, you know, as an adult, I mean, that kind of thinking was always sort of running in the background until I was able to deprogram it and like try a new, more adult approach. So that was my interpretation of make peace, which is like, stop trying to be someone that she will accept and just be the best daughter you can be and try to let the rest go. Because I believe my dad loves me. I just don't think he expresses love in a way that I receive it. So once I sort of tried to let go of needing him to speak in my language, it made for a lot more room, like a lot more ways for us to like love each other. You know, that's weird. Does that sound weird?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay.
I literally am like, if this was like the last episode we ever recorded and this was our legacy and we stopped recording right now, like you just shifted my brain, Margaret. I could cry right now from what you just said.
Oh.
That was such a simple and visceral way to listen to someone talk about acceptance. I don't even know. Like, I am so grateful that we have this recorded so that I can go back and reference the last few minutes of what you just said. That really shifted me.
I'm glad. I mean, that's again all my projection from my decades of therapy and 12-step work. But like, isn't that funny that like Terrence says one line, he's like, make peace with that woman. And that's what I infused into it.
I'm so grateful because I took it as like a gray rock situation. I took it as a go. This is Alexia telling Lisa, like, enough is enough. Get over it. This is like, okay, this is how it is. What are you going to do? It's like, no, it bypasses all of this other stuff. And I don't like it when people ask other people to bypass shit. And that's how I filter it because I feel like I've been told, let it go, let it go, let it go. And it's like, you're not ready to let it go until you're ready to let it go. But what you just got done talking about with how you let it go, I'm like, oh shit, that's it? Not that's it, but like it boiled it down to like the RHOX, the ROUX, like the foundation and the essence.
Thank you for the soup reference.
Oh my God, Soup Man. Yes. I just really appreciate what you said.
Bronwyn herself says it later, which again, I thought was so interesting when she was talking to Angie about Lisa. At the very end of the episode, she says something to the effect of, you don't have to take it, but you don't have to engage with it. And I was like, that's what Terrence just told you, man. Like, you don't have to like receive it and take that as your identity. How your mom's reflection of you is not your identity. You know who you are. And you do not have to engage and try to make her see it from your perspective. She's too old. She's not interested. You know, she's a grump and she's dug in. So Whatever. Acceptance is the answer to all my problems.
Holy shit. All right, everyone. See you next week. JK.
Right?
So Bronwyn taps out, tags Heather in. The table continues to argue. Meredith sees how upset Bronwyn is, and she just screams at the top of her lungs to stop arguing. And yeah, Bronwyn tells the group what he said, and Bronwyn appeals to Angie and Lisa to not bring in the kids or go below the belt. And then they all start yelling at each other again.
It's hopeless.
I hate scenes like this because it's too hard for me to keep track. And so they're saying the same thing over and over again.
And they're saying nothing. She's like, you protrude evil. That's the wrong word. And you're just, now you guys are just name calling. And Whitney, speaking of acceptance, I appreciated her comment. She's like, this will never end. They both have to have the last word and they will literally be haunting each other in the next life because nobody will back down. I mean, by this time they're fighting about who shops at Nordstrom. And then finally Lisa ends it with like, what about Soup Man, bitch? And I was like, what about Soup Man, bitch? Like, you guys, what is this? This is insane.
Heather's reading basically consists of Terrence telling her your cards are talking about rebirth. And we all know that Heather is now entering another phase where her children are her last child is soon to be leaving the nest. And so she will have a new opportunity in her life, starting it like solo, basically. And I think he asks her about her love life, and
she weeps.
Yeah.
She wipes tears away because those damn kids have been dragging her down. Sorry, that's what I heard.
I know.
Those balls and chains really got in the way of me fucking.
Ay.
Sorry, Heather.
So Lisa goes in for her reading, and Terry asks her about trust. The cards for her are talking to him about trust and her husband. Lisa cries, puts on her sunglasses immediately, which again, to me, just symbolized Lisa don't want to get vulnerable no matter what. Not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. In no way, shape, or form is she going to be vulnerable. She's not going to let us see her cry. Terrence tells her that she and John are on different paths and they don't know how to get on the same one. And in her confessional, again, she continues to infuriate me because she says, I don't want to get emotional. We see a little bit of footage about what the conflicts are between her and John.
But it did break my heart because I do. The only leeway I'll give her is that it does seem like their marriage is hitting a breaking point because she gets weepy and says marriage is hard. And then she says, he's my best friend. And then Terrence says, but you're not on the same team. And she says, yeah. And like, that is the essence of like a broken marriage. Like, that is brutal. So I don't even know, when I've been in relationships like that, I don't know how to articulate it. All I can do is either cry or be in denial until I'm ready for the next step, you know? And I don't know I hope they make it, but like, this seems pretty gnarly. Like, I've never seen Lisa so shook.
I mean, is she shook because she hates what he's saying? Not hurt by what he's saying, but hurt over the subject matter and the state of her marriage? Or is she that shook because it's being talked about on camera? I think that, as everyone says, like, marriage is hard work, and marriages go through trials and tribulations and highs and lows. And I don't think it's realistic to have a conflict-free marriage. I think if you have a conflict-free marriage, that might be an issue in itself. It's how you deal with it. But I don't know if Lisa wants to deal with it. I kind of feel like John would be more open to dealing with it than Lisa, even though he's the one that seems kind of stilted when he talks. But Lisa just doesn't want to go deep ever. And you have to if you want to overcome something in a conflict in your relationship. You have to fucking communicate, and she don't like to do that.
No, but she'll either have to learn or she'll have to leave her marriage. Like, but I do think this insistence on going after Angie, I think that's symptomatic of not being heard in her marriage. Like, you don't bring up Soup Man if everything on your side of the street is cool and clean and you're doing great. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no need to go there unless, like, for me, when I'm in big pain and the person who I wish would hear it from me is not available to hear it from me, I pre-therapy and even in all these years of therapy, I can find another outlet, and then I have to go make amends later. I guess my point is, I don't think it's about Angie. I think Angie is sort of a surrogate for John at this moment. I don't know.
Ooh.
But Lisa's pretty emotional. I've never seen her,
She is emotional, and God damn it, it's high fucking time that she do something other than just scream at everybody.
Yeah.
And try to keep up her image and side with Bronwyn's daughter's grandparents, who are terrible fucking people. Fuck
that.
Lisa Barlow. Fuck her. Fuck her.
Yeah, she's not great.
No, she's not. Clean up your own shit. Clean up your own shit, then come for everybody else.
That's what it is. Like that, if I had a gripe, it would be that. It's that like she's more interested in starting a new fight with someone else than in cleaning up the mess that's under her own roof right now.
And being a completely judgmental see you next Tuesday while she does it. I mean, to go after Bronwyn's in-laws, if they were married or not, I don't know. I don't remember if they were married or not, but like for all intents and purposes, like to go behind her back and take their side, that is diabolical, dirty. That's filthy. That is below the belt criminal ass shit. There's housewife conflict, and then there's you're gross, man. Like, how do you live with yourself doing that?
Well, and that's where I'm like Team Angie at the end of this, because that's what she brings up at the end of this episode. She's like, she's done shitty things to all of you, to Bronwyn, to Meredith, saying she's fucked half of New York. She's like, and you all go back to her. You all go back and kiss the ring. She's not wrong. Like, that's what's crazy. But I also agree, and Mary and Heather tell Angie that this is always who Lisa has been. And this is their version of like, acceptance is the answer to all your problems. She's like, it's hard that you're going to draw a line in the sand now when she's coming for you, when in the past you've supported Lisa, when she's exhibited this exact same pattern of behavior with other people. So everybody has a point. Angie has hit her limit. And also, it's not great that she had no problems with this until it was directed at her.
Oh, my God. So Lisa sends Meredith in. The first thing she says is like, did you talk about me? Like, that is her priority. Those are her priorities. Did you talk about me while I was gone? God damn.
Well, she sent Angie off, right?
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, she sends Angie. Sorry. Yes.
She returns to declare that, I don't have a facelift. I have 12 threads on both sides of my face. I was like, okay, calm down.
So Angie's talking to Terry, and he's like, why do I see a new business? She's starting a sunglasses line. Lisa tells the group that her reading was good. Again, she could go back and say like, wow, he really touched on some stuff that I've got to take a look at. But nope. Lisa's life is perfect. She's going to toe that Mormon company fucking line, and she's going to be perfect at the detriment of everything precious in her fucking life. Friends, marriage, children. Oh my God. You know what? Lie in it. Lie in the bed. Lie in the bed in your sad beige fucking house. I don't give a shit.
I mean, Whitney is like, as much as I hated the singing at the beginning and the end of this episode, like she is the narrator for this episode because she says Lisa needs to appear perfect and will only keep it surface level. And it's sad.
Jesus.
So agree. Hard agree. Then in Angie's reading, Terrence foresees a horse injury to Electra's horse. And we all assume that it's going to be a real live horse, but not so. Then Meredith goes off for her reading, and in the interim, Lisa apologizes, but in an aggressive way for gout dick. Angie continues bickering. Lisa now yells and screams and walks off. Angie, in the interim, goes to get the Tupperware container that she'd brought to this event that's full of every gift Lisa's ever given her and Electra, which is the little horse toy. And Bronwyn rightly notes that none of these gifts appear used. And in fact, the Vida tequila is still vacuum sealed, as is Bronwyn's bottle of Vida tequila. Nobody seems to want it or like it. And I liked Mary for following Lisa and telling her, she's like, find the high road and apologize. And this is where suddenly I was like, I can see where Mary could be effective in a pulpit. She goes, lead with positivity, show them the light, lead the way, show them how to do it. And Lisa begrudgingly is like, you're very motivational.
I did like Terrence's reading for Meredith. Somebody is struggling with mental health, and there's a friend that Meredith doesn't trust. And he tells Meredith, don't let this friend pull you down. Keep being true to yourself. And obviously that's about Barlow. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, I forgot. There's one more reading, Whitney and Terrence. And Whitney, he tells Whitney the cards he pulled for her. He sees communication shutting down in her home and that she has business frustration and tells her to be her authentic self. So all the stuff that Whitney talked about in the beginning in her little poem and why she wants to have this outing in the first place. And in her confessional, she says that this broke my fucking heart, man. I got it in my soul, especially being married to someone like Josh, who has literally, he works his ass off. Things are not handed to this man, but everything he has touched in his career has, maybe not in that moment, but he has shone as in the past tense of shined. And I'm projecting. This is my own stuff. It's like, I'm not in the shadow. Josh would never think I'm in his shadow. I feel like I'm in his shadow sometimes because I don't enjoy the same successes yet as he has in his careers, plural. Okay? And so when she said Wild Rose Beauty made her feel equal in her marriage, I was like even just saying it, like the blood rushes through my body, Although again, Josh has said what you bring to this relationship is the fact that you want the both of us to be the best people we can be. And if that means dealing with our childhood mess, our childhood residual pain, you push us to do that. And so I will take that. Like, that's what he tells me. Like, lest I think that I don't contribute like he does. Anyway.
Well, and I think that's what Justin is missing, or what Whitney is missing from Justin.
Yes,
because she
exactly.
says she didn't realize how much she wanted Justin's approval of Wild Rose Beauty and how much it hurt and how much she resents him for not wanting to be a part of it. And she cries, saying she doesn't feel like she can talk to Justin about these feelings right now, which I know is different from your relationship with Josh. And this broke my heart. She says, our marriage is beautiful, but communication is the thing that we struggle with. And it's like, oh, that's a big hurdle. It's a big hurdle.
It is. It is. And I am so grateful that I have a partner that's like, I'm like, here, grab my hand. We're going to do this together. And he's like, all right, okay. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's linear. I'm just saying that it does take two willing people. And I am extremely grateful that I have someone who has worked so hard on himself and for our marriage. Like, it's just the best fucking feeling. I feel lucky every day. So, yeah.
Well, back at the table, Lisa and Andy are now arguing about Kérastase, and Lisa asks who's my best friend, and I love Angie for going like Ben Affleck, and I was like, you're amazing. Then I love Bronwyn for just breaking it all down, and she screams, you both fucked up and said crazy ass shit about each other. Just apologize and fucking end it. And Lisa leaves for good now. She storms off, walking through Whitney's reading with Terrence, who is saying at the time, you don't need to end the friendship. You just need to stay away from their chaos. As Lisa, storms out as chaos. Back at the table, Angie is pissed with everyone that wants her to kiss the ring while Lisa just slings mud and bullies her. And she gets so upset, she's shrieking and throws Electra's horse, and it breaks the leg, and everyone gasps because this was as forecasted by Terrence. And this is where she cries and says, fucking soup, man. I don't know anyone who sells soup. I don't eat soup. I'm not doing anything with anyone who sells soup.
She's insane.
I love there's nothing I love more than like a serious declaration of something so stupid. It's like when, was it Mel Gibson who was like caught leaving a voicemail where he said like, and you ruined my day, as if that was like, oh no. It's like when people are like so upset, and I laugh because I do it too. I say like really benign, mundane, stupid bullshit, but the soup monologue got me good.
It's just like surrealist, dude. It's like what absurdity. Absurd.
All of the above.
Absurd theater, man. It's a thing. You study that in fucking theater school. I have.
Yeah.
Absurd, theater of the absurdity or whatever it's called. But it's
this is like bordering on clowning.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, what are we doing? Mary is now trying to calm Angie down, telling her they all know Angie and Lisa's bullshit is not going to ruin Angie's reputation. But Mary notes that Angie is now in a blind rage and she's not responding well to this. And Angie says that everyone goes back to being Lisa's friend after she's caused harm to them. And this is the last straw for Mary. And she just says, I'm not going to be screamed out while I'm trying to make peace. And she leaves without getting her reading. And Angie is still going off about Lisa. And this is where Bronwyn says, you don't have to take it, but you don't have to engage with it either. And I was like, that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Brittany calls Jared because she's just completely on a different planet as this whole thing has gone down. And he confirms that he pays from her from time to time. And again, I love Bronwyn, who just screams into the phone, she's giving you up for Lent. She'll talk to you in a couple months.
Jesus. Yeah, because apparently he's texted her a bunch of times while they've been there. And so on speakerphone, man, God, I love this fucking franchise. I love it. It makes me I have such a strong reaction to it because it is so fucking great.
Yeah. And everything. Again, this one, the outfits that they showed up in, Meredith looked insane.
Oh my God. Was that acid wash denim?
I had no idea. All I know is it was like thigh high and then like it just looked like so uncomfortable to sit in. Bronwyn was in a Midsommar costume.
Oh, she sure was, wasn't she?
Yes. I was like,
Leo walked in while I was recording and saw, yeah, he called it a costume too. Her flower, her midsummer cape.
I mean, but I sort of love it because again, it makes all of this screaming and crying. It's like, but you're in like acid wash denim florets. So
her ponytail looked great. Meredith's ponytail looked great. So I can't wait to see next week's episode. And that is where we're going to start again in earnest. We're going to continue with Salt Lake City for the rest of this season. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
Really didn't watch much else this week. I did watch Love is Blind. I'm now all caught up. And that I find stupid and riveting. So love it.
Absolutely.
I watched Orange County, but like I said, I can't remember a damn thing about it. So that's that. And then I watched a bunch of college football. So that's my watch list. How about you? What did you watch this week?
Love is Blind as well. This cast I'm having a hard time rooting for anybody. Definitely not anyone as one couple I'm rooting for. The others, okay, maybe two. I don't know. I feel like everyone needs. I am rooting. Okay, if anyone's watching Love is Blind and they don't want sport or haven't watched and you plan on watching, just fast forward for a few seconds. Sorry. I'm rooting for Megan and Jordan
to get married.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
A kid.
I know, but okay, no.
Get married?
Yeah.
They need to live together.
Okay.
She doesn't understand. She does not have an understanding.
That's true. She doesn't because she was talking about traveling a lot and he's all, dude.
And she spent one night with the kid and was like, the alarm went off and his alarm went off. Like, yes, he has he's a medical needs child. Like, what? This is your whole life. Do not get married.
Because she lived with it with her dad, though, that maybe she...
It's a 5-year-old
you're right,
who's also going to get up and barf and is also going to come talk at you all night and like, like, she ain't ready.
Yeah, okay.
She needs more time before... Like, marriage is, like, in theory, forever. I worry. I like them together. Don't get me wrong.
I do. I like them together. And I think I like KB and Edmund together. I don't know about marriage.
Toxic.
I think that there's a lot of trauma. Everybody, those are the couples that are like the most evolved, in my opinion. Everybody else, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to know you as a person. I don't want to know you as a couple. I don't want to know you. But fascinating, riveting television, 100%.
Totally.
I watched there's a new series on Netflix that just started that's like supernatural stories. And it scared the fucking shit out of me to the point where, like, when Josh got up to go to bed, I'm like, I'm coming with you, don't. And I had to have, like, lights on. Like, I was a child. Yes, I was terrified. And then Orange County, Sad Beige, and Tim Robinson's new show, The Chair Store.
Oh, yeah, I haven't started that yet. That's HBO?
Yeah, it's good. I'm so fucking happy for him. I love that guy so much. I want nothing but good things for him.
Me too.
And friend, what was your antidepressant?
My antidepressant was the source of this cold, but it was so well worth it. Last Saturday night, Michigan played at the Coliseum out here in Los Angeles. A couple of my Michigan friends who I haven't seen in a couple years. We would go to Michigan games all the time. Anytime they played out here or anytime we were all together back there, we would always go to games, and I hadn't seen them in years. And so we got together early and had like a lovely afternoon, which did involve drinks. And that again is like, apparently I'm too old to drink and be outdoors. So good to know now. But it was a beautiful night at the Coliseum. Michigan lost horribly, but like these guys are so funny. So we just like laughed the whole time, and it was just so fun to be around them. And we spent some time out after the game. It was one of those like days that just kept going on and on because it's like we really enjoy each other's company. And it was just great to get some good time with them. One of them now is back living in the Midwest, so I don't get to see him like at all. But it was great. It was a really, really fun Saturday. And how about you?
I'm so
What was
happy
your
for you. I'm
antidepressant?
so happy
Me
for
too.
you.
It was fun.
This weekend's been real jam-packed. Yeah, just lots of family stuff, and it was fun. And then in between that, I managed to go to No Kings, and I felt very invigorated by that, and I'm very grateful. But my biggest antidepressant is that last weekend, a little bit, it was Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, and so my friend found herself with 2 days off from her job because of it. And so we made a last-minute getaway to like the most amazing mineral hot springs, like an hour and a half away from Oakland. And during that trip, my friend binged with me next to her in the bed 4 episodes of Love is Blind. This person does not care for reality television. It's just like, nope, I'm not going to watch that. And she listens to me talk about it all the time. Like, we'll text each other, what are you watching? She's watching something highbrow and I'm watching fucking Orange County, right? Which I love. I don't make no excuses for my love of Bravo. Obviously, that's why I'm here.
The whole point of our podcast
Yes.
is it is not trash TV.
Exactly. So she watched a couple episodes last week. And then when we went, it was pouring rain one day. And so we retreated to our room for a respite. And when she suggested, hey, do you want to watch Love is Blind? Now, I've seen all these episodes, but I was like, oh my God, one of my best friends that doesn't watch reality television wants to do this with me? And I'm not having to browbeat her to do it. Like, just trust me, just trust me. And I was like, over and over, I was like, I'm so glad you wanted to do this. Like, do you see what I'm saying now? Like, it's great. Anyway, huge antidepressant, needed to go away, needed to spend time together, needed to float, all of these things. So grateful that we were able to do this. So grateful that I got to go. And yeah. And a non-reality TV friend was like, oh, I see. And I was like,
I love that.
fuck, yes. So
I love it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, friend, it was so lovely to talk to you. I feel so much better.
Too.
And I don't think the coffee ever kicked in, but I just, like, you made me awake. So I appreciate you and love you so much. So glad I got to see you.
Likewise. I'm excited to keep going on SLC.
Me too.
It's a good season. And the preview for next week, look, there's that dinner conversation between Bronwyn and her husband looked heartbreaking. Anyways, we'll get to it next week.
Can't wait. All right, everybody, take good care of yourself. Don't be like Lisa Barlow and you're already a winner.
That's it.
Yeah.
Simple assignment.
That's it.
Take good care and we'll talk next week.
We'll talk next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are
Obviously
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.